Hey everyone, Andrew Purdom here, and today I'm sitting down with Luke Guy. Luke Guy, he's an agency owner and brilliant salesman who's able to close three, five, and $7,000 deals, and sometimes even more from cold calls. And he's got a really unique way that he does it. In fact, he was telling me just a few minutes ago that he actually closed a $4,900 deal right before that we hopped on this call. So, Luke, my first question for you is how do you go about closing these high ticket dollar deals? How do you close three, five, and $7,000 from cold calls?
Yeah, I'm not the first to close big deals, of course. I mean, tons of people do it, but I guess what makes it unique is the way we do it and the fact that, I mean, we're in the trenches. Me and you and Andrew, we're in the same trenches. Like,
Mhm.
cold calling is a beast. Like, to
Right.
people talk about the channel that doesn't work, it doesn't work anymore. And to me, I am fine because everybody says it doesn't work. They're leaving it. So to me, it's less competition
Mhm.
because everybody says it doesn't work. So, I mean, that's a loaded question, but I find that the top reasons that it works for me is, first of all, I know who I'm talking to, I know
Mhm.
the pain points, and I know I have the solution. And the way we figure that out, I have this group called the Power Closers, and I actually talked about inside of that. Actually, before this call, we did actually close one for 2 months. You know, it's gonna be for $4,900. I mean, it's to get them started. These people literally come from strangers to pulling out money, and literally it happens within a 30-minute time. Now sometimes we can do that on first calls, and then
Mhm.
sometimes we have to hit them more after that. But the fact
Right.
that it came from cold calls, so it's a loaded question about how, and we can get deeper into that. It really just goes down to, I guess the biggest thing is just finding that niche that you resonate with, and then just pound out the calls. And there's a ton of things you can do between what I just said, like from calling to figuring out your niche. But we can break that down more. But that's really the gist of it.
Yeah, and you have a two call close process, correct? It's not
Yeah.
just you have the cold call and then you instantly go into the sales pitch. You have it's technically a three call close if you want to get specific,
Mhm.
where you've got either yourself or an appointment setter setting it up, and then you show up with like a 5 minute introductory call, and then you have your demo call. Is that the process?
Yeah, that's the process. But most of those calls I'm not even taking. I take the last call. Like you
Right.
have, the first call, the filter call, and then you have the demo call. I do
Right.
the last call. I have people do the other calls. I don't even do those first two.
Exactly. So then, if that's the case, most of your sales process is actually automated, which is really cool. You just show up and you close them.
And it increases the type of traffic that I'm speaking to because it's different. It takes different kinds of people for each call. The first call, I mean, they're just like pounding it out. They're not about conversions. They're just about reading the script. Do you want it? Yes or no? Okay. Second call is just about, hey, you know, can you actually pay for this? Who are you? They're more the walls. They're more the people like filtering it. And then me, I'm the good guy. I'm the guy at the top.
Mhm.
I'm the guy. But the thing is, though, even though I'm the good guy, most people don't want to be in my position because I'm between them and their bank account. And
Right.
you got to be, you got to know your stuff when you're between them and their money.
Exactly.
The exchange to work out, what you're offering has got to be worth more than they're giving. And when they feel that or think that, you win.
Exactly. So in Power Closers, you talk a lot about the concept of master slides and how you can use master slides to close bigger, faster, and easier. Can you give us an overview of what are master slides and why should somebody use them?
No, absolutely. I've been looking over here. My bad. I'm gonna look at the camera actually, see if I'm connected. So my bad. I'm looking over here like a dummy. But as for the master slides, so PowerPoint's been around since I think the cavemen. I think, but with the master slides, it's something that it's a shorter version, and to me, it's an easier version. It's because I'm a simple kind of person. Like my mind does not think, like neuroscience and the dopamine that goes to your head that makes it. That's not the way I work. Like
Mm-hmm.
sales talk about. There's a book called Was It Pitch Anything that talks about all
Yeah,
that.
Oren Claff.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's so complicated, and I got a lot about the framing or whatever. But really, what helps me is instead of reading like reading a script off a piece of paper. That killed my sales, by the way. Reading off a piece
Mm-hmm.
of paper absolutely killed it. But when I was able to have like a PowerPoint, and seeing is believing. I mean, we all say that and we all know that. But with Master Slides, it's just a 10 slide deck, and every slide is created specifically, not just a bunch of pictures on slides. There's a reason why we're saying and what they're seeing. Slide 2 is supposed to, so slide 1 is supposed to, bring authority. Slide 2 is to tell a story and make them feel what you're talking about and make them believe what you're saying. And then you run into your offer. And with the power closers, I help my power closers break down each slide, because every day, I don't care what day it is, if this is your first day or you're on day 3,000, those slides forever can improve. But as you improve them, your conversions improve. And that means that you can spend more money for every demo, because the better your master slides are, the better your conversions are going to be, and it just gives you so much room all the way around.
Right, exactly. You've helped me create some of my master slides, and I've done it just in the offer portion. Like, I can tell you yesterday, using your exact formula with just the offer slide itself, because it was a sale that was in person. It was someone local where I am. So I didn't have the full slide sequence out, but I just followed your advice on crafting the offer, and I charged double what I was initially going to charge this guy for a very simple, like 30-minute job.
Good job, man.
And instead of charging him like $750, I charged him $1,500. And because of that offer that's at the very end of the master slide, he was like, whoa, man, like, sign me up. Like, there was no objection anywhere. Like, I got the sale right then and there. So I can definitely attest that the master slide works.
But beautiful. And I mean, the offer part is a very special part. I mean, when we become the Billy Mays of the offering, part of the deck, you're going to totally crush it. And the better you get at that, the more money they're going to be willing to spend. And then you can get them to commit to 3, 6 months or whatever. So that's why a lot of people want to skip the master slides. I'm like, okay, you can try that. You can totally try to do that, but you're going to wish you'd done it sooner.
Yeah, and that's true, because I've done script selling. Let's just call it script selling here. I've done that for years. I've been doing this for 5 years now. It's a newbie to selling. I'm not an expert at selling. I'm kind of intermediate, like just above amateur, if you will. But just using some of these simple tips from the master slides that I've been building out, like, I can just tell it's an easier process. It's a much more effective way of going about the sales process. So spot on. My last question here is, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to be a better closer and they want to close bigger, faster, and easier? What advice would you give them?
Biggest advice, and it's general. Don't give up. First of all, that's the first thing I'd say. In this world, we can't be generalists. You've heard that before as well. We've got to be specialists. Don't be jack of all trades. You've heard that as well. But also specifically find them people that you speak to, like that niche. I'd ultimately think of it like this, and I've heard this analogy. We've heard different analogies of finding success, but it's kind of like the compound effect. Warren Buffett talks about if you was to invest in Coca-Cola when it first came out, if you invested Coca-Cola 50 years ago, just invested $40, you'd be a millionaire today. Now, you'd be 5 years in investment. Doesn't seem like it's grown much. 10 years, same thing. But then 15, 20, 25 years, the compound's doubling. The same way with that is with this. Most people, if something isn't working, to actually commit yourself for 2 weeks to one thing, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or a month, or 2 months, people, they give up too quickly. And I don't blame them. When things hurt, in your mind, you think I should stop. But the biggest way, I would say, the biggest way to close bigger, faster, and more easily, I like that tagline, by the way. The biggest way to do that is, first of all, believe in what you're selling. That's nothing new either. But get excited about that offer. I'd have to say between, speaking to the same person every call to where you can almost read their minds and repeat what they're about to say before they say it. That's when you key on. But also with your offer. Like last night, and this morning I talked with you guys because Andrew's a power closer as well, and he was in with me with the offers. And what was so cool was I was actually talking with you guys about the offer that I'm looking to create, and you guys were telling me that sounds like a good idea. My offer is amazing, right? It's amazing what I'm doing for my niche, but I still I'm addicted to doing more and keeping it the same price.
Exactly.
When the goal is, even if I'm asking for $3,000 or $5,000 right now, I want the offer to be so amazing they think it's cheap, even though they don't spend that kind of money. When you can say, I had one lady say this, I think it was a week ago. I got done with my offer and I said, that's it. And I gave her the price and everything. She said, "That's it?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Is that all it is?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "That price," and it wasn't low, it's high ticket price. And she was like, I mean, we're talking about getting the thousands, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Is that it?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "That's so cheap." I was like, "I'm glad you think so." And when they begin to say that, you know your offer's on key. And
Yeah.
get excited about that offer. Know who you're talking to, and and just keep perfecting, keep improving. You're going to get there. When you pass your competition, you go into the no man's land, you're going to get there. You can do it. Anybody can do this. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm. So one more question here, actually, now that I think about it, talking about offers, what makes a good offer and how can you beef beef up your offer to make it even better?
That's a super good question. So, an offer that makes you excited. Like when I read my offer, like as I'm reading my offer to them, my voice is kind of like I'm getting excited because I'm thinking I'm offering the best thing. One way to improve your offer is to know your competition. What is your competition offering?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you know what they're offering? They've got webinars. Go look them up. Go look them on social media. I mean, social media has it where they will actually dish you their ads. Like you can actually look at their ads, go through their webinars, and at the end, there's the offer. Hang out to the end of it. And I know you have sometimes to make it to where you can't skip to the end. You got to watch the whole thing, and I do that. And think, wow, that's their offer. And I actually screenshot my competition's offer. I've got it in my Trello. Okay. And I'm thinking, now, how can I beat that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can, adding a lot of digital stuff, talking, like I have the power closers, they're behind me, and I talk about how to perfect the offer. I go to conferences. I literally watch them. Like at one of the conferences, you've heard of Funnel Hacking Live. Of course, we've all heard that. That conference, they pitched a $25,000 deal. It's not a deal. That's a lot of money.
It's pricey.
Watching them do that, watching people do that on stage, like it costs $1,000 to get in, but I feel like $1,000, it's gonna make me so much. So it's worth the investment. So many things, Andrew, you can do to perfect the offer, in so many ways to become a power closer and totally crush it. But if it doesn't make you excited, it's not going to make them excited.
Exactly. Russell Brunson, I went through the One Funnel Away challenge, and he talks in that first actual week after the pre-missions, he talks about how do you get people excited about your offer. And one of the things that he mentions, and you've mentioned this too, I believe, is every time you solve one problem, another problem opens up. And your offer, when you have a really good offer, it solves a lot of them all at once. So he uses the example of The Greatest Showman. He says, okay, well, if you've got a Blu-ray DVD of The Greatest Showman, what could you add with it? And he goes through, well, what about historical books about what was P.T. Barnum actually like, and Greatest Showman sleeve cases and other accessories tied into The Greatest Showman.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole point there is you're getting people excited about it. You're immersing them in the experience and solving problems all in one.
Well, each offer, no, you're right. And each offer represents a problem that you're having, right? The problem is, and I use this example all the time, too many times we want to sell the fuel, the gasoline.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell gasoline. I want to sell you the whole Lamborghini.
Yep.
That's the problem. We're focusing on the dumbest thing. Like, yes, you need fuel to run the car, but you need the car. They need they need a transformation. Gasoline doesn't do two things. It fuels or blows up. We need to put that somewhere, but we need to give them the whole system, the whole process. And when you do that, it separates you from lead gen company. It separates you from consulting or software. So it's so fun. And the thing is, when you love what you do, and I love building offers. I love it. I'm thinking I've got a great my offer better. What's that?
It's fun.
It is totally fun, and just like breaking it, how can I improve this even better? And thinking, I'm number one. Like I'm offering more for that price. My competition would think I'm crazy for doing that. And the moment you're crazy for doing that, you're in the right spot.
Yep, 100%. Awesome. Well, Luke, why don't you just tell us a bit about who the power closers are and how people watching this might be able to get involved with it?
Mm-hmm. So as of right now, we're a small group. on Facebook. It's something that I'm building out because right now, once we open up, it's going to cost a ton of money to get in. Right now, it's free to get in because I want to get people testimonials. Like I want to see their lives change and see, okay, it's working for me, but maybe the way I'm doing is too complicated. How can I simplify the process? So the power closer are simply people who use phone webinars and master slides to turn strangers into customers that love you. Because I know there's the theory that relationships start before the sale. I know it's a debate, and they can, and those are the best kind of deals, but the masters build relationships after the sale. Like if you can sell somebody and they don't know you from anybody in the world and literally just do a quick 5-minute lookup while they're talking to you, that means you've done your homework. That means you've done your work. And when you can speak, slap through their distractions, slap through their fears, boom, it makes you a power closer because you're powerful in the conversation. And the reason I call it the power closer is because we know what we want, we know who we want to help, and we have the solution. We're powerful. And most sales guys, they're not. They're all over the place. They'll just say whatever to sell you to make a quick buck. I'm not thinking about today. I'm thinking about 3-6 months from now.
Right.
People
think about how to scale.
Scale, absolutely. You don't scale ripping people off. You can't. I mean, that's we're not. I mean, and I know used car salesmen, they've got a bad rap for that. Not all used car salesmen are that way, but they'll literally say anything. And not all used car salesmen, but I have looked for new vehicles, right? And and they will, and you just look at something that's just a year younger. This vehicle is immaculate, no problems, and there's a big bleach stain. Happened to me actually. I was buying my family vehicle. There's nothing wrong with this van. It's my neck, but there's a bleach stain. Oh, that'll come out. It's bleach, dude.
Yeah, bleach doesn't come out.
What do you mean you spray paint it? I mean, so, and but you don't want to be that guy. Don't just to make a quick buck. And cool thing is, a power closer, we actually turn people away as well. Like, hey, you're actually not going to do good with this program. How can I say that when I desperately need money? Because I'm honest, and first of all, I know I've got 10 of you right behind, back to back. I'm not worried about selling you right now because you're not going to be a fit anyway. The next person may be. So when you feel that power and you sell and you're the one, because if they don't respect you, if they don't, look up to you, if it's not like this, I'm not saying we're lords and kings, we're still humble people, but if they don't respect you and at the moment they break that respect or trust, the deal's done. And if I can't keep that in the conversation, we're done.
Exactly. You got to keep that respect, trust, and rapport going, man. Awesome. So if someone want to get involved right now, here's, I think, what we'll do. Below this video, I'll put a link. And do you want me to just send a link to the group so they can go and join it right now? Or do you want me to send them anywhere in particular? How do you want that to happen?
Send them to the group. That's about the biggest way. I haven't created sites. I haven't created funnels or any of that stuff yet because right now I'm simple. My focus right now, and all that will come, my focus is getting my power closers to succeed. And once we're roaring with testimonials, and we're getting testimonials every week, it's good. But I want to see testimonials happen every day.
Absolutely.
And once that starts popping, then we'll get official. We'll have all that in place. We'll be shiny. But right now, my focus is results. So, yes, Andrew, if you would, or go to Facebook and type in Power Closers. I'm pretty sure we're the only Power Closers out there. And I love the name, by the way. I'm in love with the name. And I even got our own theme song. But anyway. But so, yeah, just go in and type it in. And Andrew, you can put in the link. And I do appreciate that, my man.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're watching this right now, what I want you to do is I want you to go scroll down below this video, and this will be the first comment there. So go ahead, click that link, and go and join the Power Closers because I'm just going to tell you, Luke is an amazing mentor. He's really helped me. He's helped a lot of these other guys and gals in the group, and we're going to go kick butt and take over the world with sales together. So come join us. Cool. Yeah, Luke. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for spending a few moments with us. I really appreciate it. My pleasure, Andrew. A power closer. I've got time for a power closer. So definitely appreciate you, Andrew, and for keeping it up, man. Keep crushing it. Yeah, I will. Thank you. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye.